Good afternoon, my friend, and welcome here live at the Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum in downtown Washington, D.C. We have a Week 1 matchup between the Nashville Temple and the D.C. Dragons. My name's Pete Zaller, alongside me, Eric Vinson. The start of a season, the start of a new franchise as the Tempo play their first game in the big leagues here tonight, and they are facing off against a D.C. Dragons team that went 10-2 last year. What a first test, Eric, for a new franchise.
Yeah, no kidding, Pete. Pleasure to be here for yet another season of the Simulation Football League. Could not be more excited. And there's even more excitement, as you mentioned. We've got the Nashville Tempo playing their first ever professional Simulation Football League game. And they've got the semifinalists from a season to go to contend with here in Week 1. A lot of good talent on this Tempo team. DC bringing back much of the same team from the semifinal squad a season ago. So this ought to be a good one.
DC wins the toss, and they will receive, and Nashville will defend the south goal to start here. But yeah, Nashville, a new team, played down in the minor league system where they had a good deal of success and decided it was time to make the jump to the big leagues, and they will be kicking off here and seeing what they can do. A little bit of a pulse check here for them as their first test is against a team that made the semifinals last year. The kick is off and away, and it's a good one down in the end zone. It will be returned by DC, brought up to the 20, and taken down about the 25-yard line of Sam Harrison, where the Dragons will start.
Yeah, and Sebastian Synergy coming out, 10 seasons in the league. He was the offensive rookie of the season all the way back in season 8. So he's got some firepower to him. He played well last season as well for these Dragons.
Synergy comes out in the pistol, a receiver on each side, two backs in the backfield. Defense looks like they're stacking the box, and Synergy looks to pass. Throws over the middle of the field, and it is caught by Lauren Percoco. And that is no surprise at all. Percoco was the leading receiver on the team last year with 1,200 yards, and she had the lead by a lot.
Yeah, Percoco is a weapon for this Dragons offense here. And I like what the Tempo are doing on defense so far, sending some action Synergy's way and trying to get him uncomfortable early on at home.
Here they go, stacked formation. Two backs in the field, and it's a handoff to the up back, and it will go for about 7 or 8 yards there. It was the fullback, Chuck Steller. And the running game was the story of this team last year. Kevin Say and Chuck Steller really led a two-headed beast in the backfield.
Yeah, combined for over 1,200 yards on the ground between the two of them, so really a two-headed Dragon here in the backfield for DC.
Handoff, this time it will go to Say. He breaks one tackle, he breaks two, and he's down for an 8-yard gain. It's 2nd and 2.
And going back to this rushing attack here for the Dragons, it really is a two-headed monster for DC. You've got the power of Chuck Steller, who's sitting at 240 pounds and low to the ground at 5'11", and you've got the shiftiness of Say, who's only about 200 pounds soaking wet and 6 foot tall.
Synergy comes out under center once again. I formation, and it will go this time to Sam Harrison, and he is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 2. And we talked about it pregame a little bit in our meeting, but one thing I like about this Nashville team, new franchise, but they got a lot of veteran players on this defense. A lot of guys that have been around for a while.
Yeah, a lot of great defenders. Tigga Clay and Jay Mart, I've got my eye on in the linebacking core. They are going to be huge here for this defense for the Tempo.
Sending a man in motion is DC. It's Josh Gill. He'll move left-hand side. The back in the backfield is Say. And it's going his way, and he is stopped, and he will not get there. It's 4th down, and the Tempo make a defensive stand early in the game. After DC ran at will, they get stopped on 2nd and 2 and cannot convert.
And guess who it was, Pete? Tigga Clay, number 45, coming in there and stoning him right at the line of scrimmage. Great stop there for the Tempo defense.
Ron Van Cleef will punt it away. And it's a good punt here. It's going to be back at about the 15-yard line, and it will be returned. Breaking one tackle is the return man. That was Jeff Banfield on the return, and he'll bring it up to the 23-yard line where Nashville will start. So this will be our first look here, Eric, at this offense led by Switch Thumper, who's going to take his first ever snap in an SFL game here in a moment.
Yeah, and a lot of unknowns, as you kind of touched on with this Tempo offense. Some recognizable names for sure. The Nashville team did a great job of going out into free agency and picking the trees clean wherever they possibly could. Switch Thumper is a bit of an unknown. We're not really sure what to expect from him, even though it's his 3rd season in the league.
Thumper under center I formation, defense stacking the box. It's a handoff, left side, and about a 2-yard gain there for Sean Sanders, and it'll be 2nd and 8. But yeah, Thumper's been around the SFL for 3 years. His first year in the league, he got buried on the depth chart, never saw any playing time, went back to the minor leagues, wasn't rostered last season, and this season, Nashville is going to give him a shot here, as this is his first real shot in the league. So here we go once again, the I formation. It's going to be another handoff left side to Easton King, who gains maybe a yard. It's 3rd and 6.
And Easton King is another similar story to Switch Thumper, buried on the depth chart, had some success at wide receiver, but because this tempo team is stacked at receiver, made the switch to running back to join Sean Sanders back there.
Thumper under center again, 2 receivers each side. Defense gonna respect it. Thumper rolls out, first career pass attempt over the middle, picked off, thrown right to the defense, and it is taken back to the 40-yard line. That was John DeSantis on the interception, and for his first career pass, it couldn't have gone much worse, Eric.
Yeah, no kidding, Pete. And I think there was just a little bit of juice on there. The adrenaline's running even higher in your body as you're going through this rollout. And I think he just overthrew his intended receiver, Guy Clausen. I'm not sure if maybe he just didn't have enough on the route yet or what the case was. But either way, ends up being an interception early on for Nashville, and this defense is going to have to stand tall.
Yeah, I guess he was looking for Clausen, but he missed him by a good bit there. Unfortunate start there for Nashville. Now they are on their heels on defense. So here comes Synergy out again. It's going to be a handoff. Say breaks 1 tackle and gains 5 yards. It is 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, and this is going to be where DC goes offensively. They are going to run the football, and they are going to run it down your throat, either through Kevin Say or Chuck Stellar. And if they throw the ball, you better watch out for 47.
Yeah, that's their favorite target for sure. We will see which way they decide to go here on 2nd and 5. Really full playbooks open. They're going to send a man into motion. This time the man is going to be number 83, going right-hand side of the screen. And it's going to be a handoff. Say again, breaks a tackle and gets up to almost the line to gain. Only gains 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 1.
And that's the dangerous part about a back like Kevin Say, is that you can go ahead and clog all those lanes defensively to the best of your ability, and he somehow has that maneuverability to get through the smallest hole in that defense.
3rd and 1, and they're going to send Stellar in motion now. It's Harrison in the backfield. It's going his way, and he has a big gap there, and he's going to break down the left sideline to the 10, to the 5, just about, and it's 1st and goal. So they go with the backup running back in Harrison, and he gets a huge lane and makes good on it.
And Pete, I'm going to tell you, the key part to this play is shifting the fullback out to the wide end of the formation. Going one-on-one against a corner, that corner stands no chance against Chuck Stellar, who's 240 pounds. Easy block for him, steals the edge, and obviously Harrison got a huge gain.
That was a great analysis, Eric. Stellar set the edge there, and Harrison took advantage. Handoff, Say, up the middle, and he is stuffed at about the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal and just 2 to gain here for DC as they continue to ground and pound their way down the field.
Yeah, DC, a dangerous team. We mentioned a semifinal team from last season. Did very, very well during the regular season, only 2 losses. Continuing to roll here.
2nd and goal. This time it goes to Harrison. He breaks off a tackle and dives. He's in. Touchdown, Dragons. And it is going to be Sam Harrison after the Big Harry getting the touchdown there. And DC gets on the board first.
And if there's anyone who deserves it, it's going to be Harrison after that huge run earlier. Let the young man get the payoff. Boom, pay dirt.
So it'll be Caleb Richards on to attempt the extra point, should they go for the extra point, as we imagine they will, and they will. And DC looking to go up 7-0 early. Remember, we've been saying this is a team that went 10-2 last year, made the semifinals. One of the better teams in the league, as Richards' extra point is good. The score is 7-0. This is a tough test here for Nashville in their first game. And now I'm really curious to see how the young quarterback Thumper is going to respond after throwing the interception and DC scoring as a result. We'll really see a lot of his resolve here.
It is an early test of that intestinal fortitude for sure here, Pete. And, Thumper, we're going to see what he's made of early on, being down 7-0, throwing a pick in your only pass.
If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. So here's Nashville, once again, their second drive of the game. They're going to come out with two backs in the backfield, and this time it goes to Sanders. Sanders maybe got half a yard there. It's going to stay still second down and 10.
And the best friend of a young quarterback is going to be his running game. Unfortunately for Thumper, his run game is also a little bit on the younger side. So everyone's just kind of learning as you go, but that's the measures of good teams that get to grow together.
Here we go, pass, and there's a completion. That one's caught by Kenny Hendricks over the middle of the field. Hendrick is a former All-Star in the league in Season 22, played for the Bossier City Steamers, and a good player there. And maybe that will calm down the nerves for Thumper getting a completion.
Yeah, you always feel a little bit better after you get that first one under your belt. So there you go, short gainer, third and manageable here, playbook's open.
Trip set of receivers to the left, and he's tossing. Thumper in the pocket, rolls up, is going to run for it, and he gets there. Good awareness. He felt the pressure from behind. First down tempo.
Yeah, nicely done by Switch Thumper here. As you mentioned, Pete, just sensing the pressure coming in behind him. He's got some wheels. Go ahead and use them. Get down and slide. No need to put your body in unnecessary harm.
So it's first down and 10. Maybe Nashville can get a little tempo going as they are going to get their first down for this franchise. And it's going to be a delayed handoff there to Sanders, and he gains 3 yards, second down and 7.
And I tell you what, Saeed Gore came in and bit on that play, and he was really the only one that had an opportunity to catch Sanders. Unfortunately for Sanders, just ran right into him.
Second and 7, really full playbook open on this play here. Looks like they're going run, though, and they do. This one's going to go up the gut to Easton King, who gains 2 yards. It's 3rd and 5. And yeah, you mentioned King was a wide receiver previously. This is his first year at running back, but with a new franchise, this is really a chance for him to make a name for himself.
Well, and like I said, Pete, it's a young team overall here in Nashville. They get an opportunity to grow together, and that's what a lot of GMs are looking for with their franchises.
Thumper gonna pass, throws quickly, and it is caught by Guy Clausen, but he is just short of the line to gain. It's 4th and inches. I like the play call, though, Eric.
I do like the play call. Again, you want to focus on routes that are going to get your young quarterback comfortable. Those are going to be those short routes, curls, button hooks, things of that nature. And we got a challenge here, Pete.
Wow, there we go. A first challenge here. And let's take a retroactive look at this play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com. So they're going to challenge it, and I don't hate the call there. It was awfully close. Let's see. It's hard to tell from that angle there, Eric. It's really close.
It's not a great angle there, but I will say, watching it in real time, I would think that the forward progress would give him the first down, but I'm not wearing stripes.
Well, here's the call. The play stands, and yeah, so I just don't think there was enough there to overturn that call, Eric.
But you know what? I'm not disappointed with the decision by James Walters to go ahead and throw the red flag early. Go ahead and get your young team some confidence. Maybe steal one away, get that going, a reversal, and you save the timeout. I'm not disappointed with the decision to throw that challenge flag.
So Tommy Powers is going to punt it away. And it looks like it is a good one. It'll be fair caught at about the 13-yard line where DC will take over. So, yeah, a little short there, but now DC gets their third chance with the ball here, and we'll see if they can drive down the field.
Yeah, and a lot more of a productive drive there from the Nashville tempo offense. Didn't result in any points, but now the defense has to come out and play tough against DC.
Synergy under center. It's going to be a handoff. Say breaks one tackle, can't break them all. Only gains 2 on the carry. It's 2nd down and 8.
Yep, and that's a good start there for the tempo on defense. You want to swallow up this run game as much as humanly possible. And, they're going to run the football, so get them tired. Get them worn down.
And stacking the box is Nashville. It's a handoff this time to the fullback Stellar. He only gains a yard. And it looks like Nashville's adjusting. They know they're trying to run the ball, and they're daring them to pass right now.
Yeah, and they've got some good guys out there in the secondary as well. King Bradshaw is a great safety. Chris Stack is a great corner. I mean, you've got some good options out there.
Synergy looking to throw only a second pass attempt, and it is caught over the middle of the field by Mason Kirby, and that is a first down, so they forced the pass attempt. However, Synergy made a quick completion for a first down.
And Mason Kirby is one of those guys, he will find a way to catch the ball. It could be the most slimmest of margins as far as probability for him catching that football, he'll still do it. So that's why he's invaluable to the DC offense.
So on first down, Say is the back in the backfield. Two receivers to the right-hand side of Synergy. And it's going Say's way, and he cuts back up the gap, and he will gain about 5 on it. It is second down and 5. And if they just keep gaining 5 yards a carry, they're not going to go away from the run.
That is very true, and Tigger Clay is doing absolutely everything that he can right there in the middle of the field. Listed as an outside linebacker, but he's playing a lot of inside right now with the way that the Dragons are running.
Handoff again, this time to Harrison. However, he is met at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there. Really good job on the defensive side for Jay Mart.
Yeah, Jay Mart did a good job following Tigger Clay on that one. Clay coming in on the blitz, and Mart able to just find a hole and make the wrap up there for a short gain.
Third down and 5. They could run it if they wanted to. They're going to send Kirby into motion. They'll have two receivers lined up right-hand side. Defense looks like they're dropping off for a pass. And it will be a fake handoff. Synergy steps back, fires, and it is incomplete. Was looking for his man Josh Gill in heavy traffic, however, it could not be caught.
Yeah, and that's Chris Stack out there, number 24, a 9-season veteran, played with the Fleet previously, and he is a very good corner on that back end. I am not surprised by the attitude of the Tempo defense to go ahead and force DC to throw the ball.
So it'll be the second punt of the game for Ron Van Cleef. And this one is punted away. Jeff Banfield is deep to receive it, and he will return it, and he gets a little bit of a gap there, but not enough, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. So after one quarter of play, it is the Dragons up 7-0, but the Tempo hanging in tough. We'll be right back. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Daggs Drone Work. Aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at daggsdronework.com. I don't know if he's still doing funerals, but I remember last year that was questionable.
That was indeed questionable, but who knows? Daggs is a working man. He gets out there everywhere with his drone.
So here we go. It's going to be a handoff. Sanders, and Sanders had a nice gap, but it filled quickly. Only gained 3 yards on the carry, and it'll be 2nd and 7. And I like the playbook here for the Tempo. They're getting creative with their play calls, just not a lot of real estate.
Yeah, and this is a tough Dragons defense, top 10 defense from last season. So it's going to be difficult to move the football on them in any way, shape, or form.
And here's a toss back, and it'll be a good gain of about 3 or 4 yards there. That one was by the backup fullback, Jeremiah Johnson, and got about 3 on the carry. It's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, they're doing the best that they can right now to try and take what the defense is giving them. Unfortunately, the Dragons are not giving them much on defense. And a 3rd and 4, work cut out for them, even though it's a 3rd and manageable.
Thumper's going to pass. He has good protection, throws, and he had a man. It was Jeff Banfield, but he just couldn't get it to him. And that was an easy one, Eric. It was about a 2-yard pass over the middle with nothing but space there, but just couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to set up a wide receiver screen over the middle there, and just a bit too far for the intended guy, Banfield. And unfortunately for Nashville, they're going to have to punt the football away. Still very much in this ball game, though. They are playing tough against a good DC team.
So the punt is off and away, and it is down to the 20-yard line, and it will be returned, and Harrison takes it up for about 4 yards, and DC will start at their 23-yard line. So despite the interception, Nashville's defense has been playing pretty decent. They're bending, but they're not breaking here, Eric. They haven't really let DC bully them too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a top 10 offense as far as points scored, scoring an average of 25 points a game. So the fact that they held them to 7 points in one quarter, I mean, that's pretty darn good, especially for your first pro game.
Percoco in motion. She'll line up right side of that offensive line. And Synergy's looking to pass it on first down. Throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Mason Kirby. Could not get it in there. This is a team, too, Eric, that they averaged the most yards per reception in the league. 18 yards. The running game really opened up the deep passing game for them last season.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, we touched on it in the pregame. A lot of this same DC Dragons team that went to the semifinals last season, they are back once again.
Percoco in motion. She'll line up as a receiver now at the bottom of the screen. And looking to throw again. Throws over the middle for Percoco, and she goes up and gets it. She goes down the sideline to the 40, 35. She stumbles down at about the 34-yard line. Big play there by Lauren Percoco. First down, Dragons.
Yeah, Percoco just had King Bradshaw completely fooled on this play. One-on-one coverage, and Percoco was just better. I mean, what can I say? Good throw there by Synergy to find her, and an even better play by the Wiley tight end.
Yeah, she just kind of was too big there. She went up and got that one and made another 20 yards after the catch. So it's 1st and 10. Harrison's the tailback. And looking to throw again are the Dragons. They're going to the passing game. Throw over the middle, and a hard hit knocks the ball out of Joe Hayden's hands. And it will be incomplete for 2nd and 10.
And that's what you're going to have to do on defense is go ahead and lay those big hits, play a physical ball game on defense, and make sure that you jar the football loose. Great hit by Carmichael on the back end there.
Apologize, that was Jay Hayden, his first year with this team. 2nd and 10. Going with a little wishbone type formation here, and it will be handoff to Stellar, and Stellar goes nowhere, maybe gains a yard. It's 3rd down and 9.
And Dylan Bamsler, a very underrated team on defense for the Jacksonville Kings the season ago. A lot of these guys came over from that Kings team to head up this Nashville Tempo franchise, and they're looking good so far.
And Nashville looks like they're going to play a little bit of zone here. They're dropping off. Synergy going to pass, and he was looking the way of Josh Gill, but could not get it in there. It's 4th and 9, and they're going to have to attempt a long field goal.
I absolutely love the play call on defense as well. Set in the house, get Synergy uncomfortable, make him find a quick throw, and it didn't work out for DC, so now they got a punt in no man's land.
Yeah, they're going to punt. It's Ron Van Cleef. It would have been about 55-yarders, so they're just going to rather punt than give good field position to Nashville. Coffin corner there, and it will be returned by Banfield, who maybe got a yard. It'll be Nashville's ball, the 15-yard line.
And Banfield had a little more juice in his veins there, thinking he was going to return that one. A little bit of a gutsy play there, but he held on to the football. Still inside the 20, but a little bit of breathing room here for Thumper.
So this time it's going to be Thumper with Jay Ballmer, the fullback in the backfield, who is a player that I actually like. He has very good hands out of the backfield, and it's a toss play to Ballmer. Ballmer fights for 2 yards there, could not get much. But yeah, Ballmer's a guy that played on the Arizona Scorpions, and I always liked his hands as a fullback. They ran a lot of screens to him, I recall, last season.
Yeah, a lot of passes to him coming out of the backfield. Really good hands. Almost like a larger tight end. I'm not necessarily sure that play fit his strength, though.
And here's a delayed handoff, and that goes absolutely nowhere to Sanders. And I'll tell you what, Thumper hasn't had the greatest start to this game, but Sanders has been getting eaten alive. They've tried everything, inside, outside, fakes. He just can't get going.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this is a top 10 defense, top 5 in a lot of categories as well. I mean, it's going to be tough to move the football against the Dragons.
Well, here we go. Thumper feels the pressure, runs up, and he cannot escape. He is eaten alive there in the backfield by John Gary, and it is 4th and 9. He might have got up to the line to gain. I don't know if that was a sack or not.
Man, and that's the problem when you're playing this DC defense is that they've got some playmakers along that front forward. Dude, they got playmakers across the board on that defense. So just when you think there's a glimmer of hope, and I thought so as well for Thumper, flung him back right at the line of scrimmage.
Powers is going to punt it away. It's a pretty good punt. It's going to be fielded at the 40-yard line where it's returned by Harrison. And Harrison brings it up to the 46-yard line where DC will start with excellent field position. And for Nashville, they got to start having some extended drives here because eventually your defense is just going to tire out and start giving up points.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, something's got to give. You know, we're not entirely sure what it's going to be, but something's got to give. And DC had a lot of close games last season as well. A couple of blowouts, but some close ones too.
Say gets the carry, and he gets nothing. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
So, yeah, it is very possible to play DC tough. I mean, they had a win early on against Carolina last season, only by 7. Seattle, they won only by 7. So they play some close games. And they sometimes find some ways to blow the doors open. Just got to keep them close on defense for Nashville.
Synergy looking to pass. He rolls around the pocket, rolls right, fires deep over the middle, and there's a flag. That's going to be a pass interference call there. I think the intended target was Kirby. And that is a tough one there, and that one will go against the defense. It'll be a 1st down for the Dragons.
Yeah, and that's a tough one on Carmichael because he really didn't need to. He was doing a good job just kind of shadowing the receiver at the point in time, and then he just got there a little too early and made the hit, which drew the flag.
And yeah, that was actually Gill who got penalized, or who got the penalty against him there. It's 1st down and 10. Say's in the backfield. Stellar's the fullback. And looking to pass again as Synergy fires over the middle for Percoco. And another flag. Does this one pass interference as well? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Man, I don't know watching that one in real time, Pete. I thought it was some good old hand fighting over the middle. We're not going to see the replay, so I'm not 100% sure what exactly the referee was looking at on that one. But nonetheless, it is another penalty. Nashville going to have to make some adjustments after giving up some yardage on those penalties.
Yeah, so it goes against J. Mart. I thought it was within the 5 yards where you can be a little bit more handsy, but I guess not. Handoff to Say. He has a big gap. He breaks a tackle, and he carries Mart with him to the 8-yard line. It's 1st and goal. Say gets his first big run of the season.
Delro had a real opportunity there to make the open field tackle and limit the damage, but Kevin Say is just such a talented back. Shoves off that tackle, and then, as you said, dragging J. Mart with him for another 5 yards. Great run by Kevin Say.
1st and goal, playbook wide open here. We'll have to see where they want to go with it. Synergy comes out in the shotgun. I think first time we've seen him in the shotgun this game. It's going to send Gill into motion. They've been doing a lot of motion with Gill. That'll give us a bunch set of receivers on the left-hand side. And it's going to be a handoff to Harrison and a big gap up the middle. He gains 5 yards, rumbles down to the 3-yard line where it'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Synergy, sending the motion man. Clearly they were in zone on defense for Nashville after that motion, so he knew he could go ahead and hand the football off right up the middle. It was going to be a lot of yard. Defense
stacks the box. It's going to be a handoff to Stellar. Stellar cannot find any space. It'll remain 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, and a big test here early in the franchise history of the Nashville tempo.
Yeah, I mean, if they could go ahead and force 3 points here for DC, I mean, Nashville is going to have a couple huge victories, morally speaking, for this team.
The battle in the trenches. Who wins this one here? They send Gill into motion. The back is Say.
They're going to have stack one-on-one.
He rolls out, looking to fire, throws it into the end zone. It is broken up by the defense. He was looking for his man Kirby, but a great job by Hendricks deflecting it, and Nashville bends, but they do not break.
Man, what a play. See, I was thinking they were going to go to the opposite end there, Pete. Just watching the one-on-one there with Josh Gill and Chris Stack, I was thinking maybe that was where Synergy would want to go. Instead, he goes the opposite end where all the traffic is, and Nashville makes a great play on defense.
So now they will be forced to attempt a 20-yard field goal by Caleb Richards here. The snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up, the kick is good, and it is 10-0 Dragons after a I have to say, a disappointing drive. They get stopped at the 3-yard line, and I think the reason they went to Kirby is because Gill hasn't had much success this game. They've gone Gill's way, I think, 3 or 4 times, but just has not been able to get a lot going.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, it's difficult to get inside of a quarterback's head sometimes, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And this one will be returned out of the end zone by Banfield. Breaks one tackle, he goes right side, has one man to beat to the corner, cannot beat him, but still a great return. Banfield takes it up to the 40-yard line, where Nashville will start with the ball, their best field position yet.
The special teams unit was trying their best to keep up. He had one big hefty over on the right-hand side with him, trying to keep pace and just couldn't quite get that last block there without drawing a penalty. Great return there by Banfield and set them up with great field position at the 39.
So let's see if they can get in the motion. I think you're going to have to start throwing the ball here, because the run game just has had no success whatsoever. I think you got to see what Thumper can do here if you're Nashville. Let's see, though. They're going to send a man into motion. That'll be Ryan Davis, a name we haven't said a lot yet today. Thumper takes his time, and now he will pass. Thumper throws the way of Davis, and it is caught by Guy Clausen on a little misdirection over there. That's a first down, so a nice, easy completion there for Thumper, and first down.
And that's going to be the key piece of the equation for Thumper, is putting the ball where he needs to. Right where Clausen needed to catch it in stride so that he could go ahead and use his momentum to break a couple more tackles to get more yardage. Beneficially for Nashville, they ended up getting a first down on maybe a 2-yard play.
And now they are on the side of the field of the Dragons for the first time. Let's see what they can do with it. Thumper comes out under center once again, and he's looking to throw. Thumper throws quickly, and it is caught once again by Kenny Hendricks over the middle for a first down. Nashville down to the 35-yard line. Thumper just taking his 2-step dropbacks and firing. They're keeping it simple.
Yeah, and Pete, I think you were right. I think the Nashville coaching staff, they wanted to turn him loose a little bit and let Thumper throw the ball. The little short plays weren't working. The run game was stifled. So go ahead and just turn him loose, see what the young buck has to offer you from the quarterback position.
His first game and a lot to prove. He wants to show Nashville he's the guy to lead this new franchise moving forward, and this is, like I said, his first ever snaps today. Handoff this time to Balmer, a good carry for 3 yards there. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
And see, that's more Jay Balmer speed. Go ahead and hand it straight up the middle. Let him get a little shifty in the middle of the field there, rumble over some defenders and get 3 or 4 yards.
2nd down and 7, and Thumper's looking to throw. Heavy pressure, rolls out, fires, and he gets it to his man under heavy pressure. That one completed to Jim Copeland Jr. for a first down. That wasn't easy.
No, it was not easy. That was very impressive there by the young quarterback to roll out and then on the opposite side of the field have the wherewithal to set his feet long enough to complete the pass. Great play.
Yeah, DC sent the house there. Let's see if they do it again. They do not. It's going to be a toss to Sanders, and Sanders just cannot get anything going. Gains a yard. It's 2nd down and 9.
And that was a lot of what we saw with Sean Sanders in Jacksonville as well a season ago. You saw some glimpses, and you were like, oh, come on, man, you're there, and just didn't quite get enough out of him. Hopefully Nashville can do the opposite.
Delayed handoff that time, and gaining a good bit there, more than I thought he was going to, is Easton King. Gains 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6, and 2-minute warning has come. So back here at the Dungeon of Jakar Stadium in downtown Washington, D.C., it's a big 3rd down and 6. Here we go, I formation, Thumper under center here. They're going to send a man into motion. It's Hendricks. They'll send him right-hand side. Thumper likely passing down here in 3rd down and 6. And he is. Thumper drops back, rolls out, fires, and it is all but intercepted there. It'll be 4th down and 6. Lucky there, that one wasn't picked off.
And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Pete, I'm like, don't make any ill-advised throws. Don't make any dumb plays. The worst thing you could possibly do is have a nice field goal attempt here to get your first point. And sure enough, they're lucky to have an opportunity at those 3 points now.
It'll be Victor Ironleg on the kick. Hold is good. Kick is up from 37 yards. It is good. And Victor Ironleg will always have the distinction of scoring the first points in franchise history for the Nashville Tempo. It is now 10-3 DC.
And man, through almost 2 quarters of action, this upstart, feisty Nashville Tempo team is playing tough against the semifinal team from a season ago in the DC Dragons.
They certainly came to play ball today. It'll be kicked off by Ironleg here. And we'll see a kick return with a lot of space here for Harrison. Harrison breaks a tackle at the 20 and gets up to the 25-yard line where they will start with the ball. A minute 43 to go down the field. I'll be curious to see what they want to do here. They have their timeouts, so they can really still run the ball if they'd like.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what Nashville decides to do on offense. But another big storyline that we haven't quite touched on enough, James Walters, the former defensive coordinator for DC, has come over to Nashville to be the head coach and to help this Nashville defense for the Tempo. So it really, we're seeing a lot of what we saw last season with DC here in Nashville defensively.
Synergy looking to pass, has good protection, fires over the middle for Percoco. Great defense played, and it is incomplete.
Yeah, and once again, Lauren Percoco is a weapon for this Dragons offense, and Nashville just playing them tough on the back end. We touched on it. They got some dogs back there in the secondary. We'll see how they perform against a very hot offensive juggernaut here in the Dragons.
Synergy is going to send a man into motion. It's Kirby. Kirby will line up now, right-hand side, left side empty. Could maybe be looking to run that way. It's going to be a handoff to Say. He does run that way. However, it's covered nicely by the defense. Only a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
And those are the plays that you need to make if you're a young defense, because you called it, Pete. Going to go ahead and run it where there's not enough bodies over there on that left-hand side. That relies on your linebackers to make those open field tackles, and they did there to prevent a huge gain.
Well, DC is going to pass. They have 3 on the right, 2 on the left. They're going to send a man into motion. It's Jay Hayden. Now 3 on the left, 2 on the right, but this is absolutely passing situation. Synergy fires over the middle into traffic for Percoco. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 8. I don't know where Synergy was trying to go with that, because if 3 men were on Percoco, he had to have someone open somewhere.
I mean, look, these receivers, these pass catchers, I should say, for the Dragons, I mean, they are weapons out there, and they will catch the ball even when you don't think they will. Lauren Percoco is a master at it. Mason Kirby is a master at it. So I don't necessarily blame them for trying to thread the needle there.
It's going to be fair caught at the 35-yard line by Banfield, and now Nashville's going to have a chance with a minute left and 2 timeouts to try to work down the field and score some points. And I'll be curious. You want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you can't be too aggressive here and throw an interception.
No, just run your offense, see what you can get from your own 35-yard line. You got 2 timeouts. A little under a minute isn't terrible to work with. So just run your offense, see what happens.
Thumper's under center, and he's looking to pass. Thumper fires, and incomplete, looking for Hendricks there. I think it might have just been a little bit low. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Thumper knew he had pressure coming in on him. Might have rushed the throw a little bit. That's probably why it was a little bit on the lower side there for Hendricks. Receivers got to make a play. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Usually with younger teams, they're still trying to get their feet wet.
Thumper under center once again, 2nd and 10. He's looking to fire, throws, and he has a man wide open, but he throws it off the back of Guy Clausen's helmet, and it's incomplete. Clausen needed to turn around about a second earlier.
Yeah, and it's tough to say who that one's really on at that point. Thumper, it could have been that he was trying to get it out too quick. Clausen wasn't ready for the football. Clausen just should have been ready for the football, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I think probably a little rush there. But here's Thumper. And I think that was a shovel pass that went wrong. But it's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and they will be punting.
Yeah, and like I said, just run your offense. You would have liked more than just 10 seconds to come off the clock with you running your offense and not getting anything out of it. But alas, it's one of those things. It did look like it was kind of a shovel pass situation there, just a little too low for the back to handle.
Punted away by Powers, and it'll be fair caught at the 20-yard line by Harrison, so DC will take over at their own 21-yard line, and with 41 seconds and 3 timeouts, maybe they can get in field goal range, but they'll have to work mildly quickly here.
Well, it depends on how gutsy they want to be on offense here. I mean, obviously we saw Synergy trying to thread the needle in triple coverage, trying to get it to Percoco on the last drive, so who knows, maybe they're content doing that on this one.
And it's going to be a handoff to Ballmer up the gut there, and not a whole lot going on there. My apologies, that was Chuck Steller, rather, the fullback for DC, and not much there, gains 2 yards.
Yeah, and with the clock rolling, I mean, I've seen weirder things happen in this league, but I'm seeming to think that DC is just wanting to go into half.
Yeah, 19 seconds, and Synergy's looking to throw, rolls out left, fires, and it's caught by Percoco at the 40. Looks like they're not going to use that timeout, though, and that probably will be the last play of the quarter, so I guess they just wanted to get Lauren Percoco fired up, and that was about the extent of that play there. Great catch, and she paid the price for it.
Exhibit A of I've seen weirder things happen, because that's a head-scratcher to me if you let it hit triple zeros at that point. Don't know what happened there, Pete.
Yeah, it's okay. We go to halftime, and the DC Dragons lead by a score of 10-3. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with the SFL. And welcome back, my friend. And first half, that the story of the game was defense, Eric. Both teams' defenses really dominated there. I mean, outside of a turnover that led to a DC touchdown, not a whole lot happening offensively.
Yeah, there really isn't, and we kind of expected that from Nashville's standpoint. Obviously, having a lot of young pieces on that offense. From DC's standpoint, it's a bit of a question mark, really. I mean, the run game helped them out quite a bit there. Obviously, you saw Harrison there averaging over 6 yards a clip. He had the touchdown for DC in the first half. But overall, I'm a little perplexed as to what's going on with DC, despite Nashville playing very, very well defensively. And again, their old defensive coordinator heading the front over in Nashville now.
Well, Nashville's going to receive the ball here, too. DC 10-2 last year. However, they are having problems on opening night with the upstart tempo. Kick will be returned by Banfield from the 5. He takes up to the 25, spin move. He'll be tackled at the 26. So let's see what adjustments were made in the locker room at halftime here for this offense. I like the passing game. I think they need to stick with that. The running game just had nothing doing there, Eric.
Yeah, when they let Twitch Thumper loose a little bit, he started getting a little bit of momentum, started getting into a rhythm, completed some passes, looked very, very good out there. But yeah, this run game is just not doing anything against this front seven of the DC Dragons. I would open up the playbook a little bit more and let Thumper throw the rock.
Wing set here, so they'll have 2 backs in the backfield, Thumper under center. Defense, looks like they're stacking the box. It'll be a handoff. Sanders gets a lane. However, he gets tackled after a gain of 4. If he could have bounced outside, there was a lot of real estate there, Eric, but still a good gain of 4.
Yeah, and I think he was waiting on Ballmer to land that block there so that he could bust it back to the inside. Just a little bit too soon to cut it back in on that one. Still a good 4-yard gain.
It'll be a handoff again. This time it'll go to the tight end, and he rumbles and stumbles for a first down there. Nice carry by Jimmy Witt with a little trickery.
And that's what you do if you're a young team and you got a lot of talent there on offense, trying to see what everyone can really do. I mean, you got 4 tight ends out there, you got 5 wide receivers, a couple running backs, and a fullback. Go ahead and mix it up. Line some guys in the backfield, see what they can do for you.
1st and 10, 1 back in the backfield for Thumper. And he's looking to pass. Defense brings the house, throws over the middle, and it is caught by Guy Clausen. First down. Clausen, early on, is looking like the favorite target here of Thumper. He's looked his way a lot.
Yeah, I think if he had seen Jim Copeland Jr. there, he would have had a running start to get a whole bunch of yards on that crosser. But instead, a good throw there nonetheless over to Clausen, gets the first down, and Nashville is rolling early on here in the second half.
Yeah, they say young receivers kind of just tend to lock in on a guy they trust, and Clausen might be that guy for Thumper. Thumper's looking to throw again. He's under pressure. He fires, and it is incomplete. That time he was looking for Kenny Hendricks, however the pressure was too much to bear.
And, honestly, Pete, other than the first ball that he threw in the first quarter, first play from scrimmage, not the first play from scrimmage, but first possession they had, he's really thrown some really well-thrown balls, Thumper has. Even if they're into coverage, they're right where he needs to throw them.
I formation, and it will be a handoff to Sanders. Sanders breaks a tackle, and he gets his best carry of the night for 6, setting up a manageable 3rd down and 4.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing here for the tempo offense. Maybe made some adjustments there in the half. Maybe decided go ahead and let the playbook open a little bit more for Thumper to make some decisions. A little bit of run, a little bit of pass. I'm liking it so far.
Thumper looking to throw, fires over the middle, and it is caught by Banfield. There we go, 1st down tempo. He's down to the 25-yard line. I've been waiting to say his name. You knew he was going to break loose eventually, and there he goes.
Oh, absolutely. 8-season vet coming over from Indianapolis in the offseason with this young team. And this is what you can do on offense when you add a little variety to the playbook. When you're not one-dimensional, the defense doesn't quite know what to expect. So now we're starting to see some success for the tempo on offense.
Thumper's going to hand it off, this time Sanders, and Sanders just cannot get a lane there. He'll get tackled to the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10. And I do want to quickly mention, though, Banfield was the number 2 on Indy last year, comes over here, and he's thinking this is his chance to prove he's a number 1 in this league. I'm curious to see how he does this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got some names both on offense and defense. This tempo team is going to be very interesting this season, even if it's their first professional one.
Thumper's going to hand off again. This one's going to go to Balmer, and Balmer gets a yard, I guess. It'll be 3rd down and 9, but a tough couple of plays there in a row for Nashville. Now Thumper's going to have to make some magic.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 here, just outside the red zone. I mean, I would say that the playbook is obviously going to force you to throw the ball. We'll see what they do here. Offset single back.
Looking to throw, Thumper. Rolls out left, fires over the middle of the field, and touchdown to Banfield! He goes to his number 1 target and gets the first touchdown for the Nashville Temple. What a good throw there by Thumper. He put it only where his man could catch it.
What a throw there by Switch Thumper. I am shocked by how good that throw was. Not because I didn't think Thumper could do it, just because of how tough it was. He's running away from the blitzers. Again, turns around, goes back to the back of the end zone, and nails his receiver in stride where only he could catch it, in double coverage, by the way.
And Iron Leg makes the extra point, and it's halfway through the 3rd quarter, and this game is tied. I don't know if a lot of people saw that coming this week, but the upstart tempo making some magic happening here on opening night. Break into the world of sports memorabilia, collecting the Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. So here we go. First look in the second half now. Shabazz, Synergy, and the DC offense. How will they respond? As they're going to send a man into motion here. Kirby will line up right side. Synergy takes a while, and he will hand it off. This time it goes to Stellar, who gains 2 yards at 2nd and 8. And if you ask me, Eric, all the pressure's on DC. Nashville's playing with house money tonight in their first ever game.
Oh, absolutely. With the defense seeing Switch Thumper throw his first career professional touchdown, getting all that juice from the offense, playing well right out the gate here in the 3rd quarter, they're going to come after DC.
And there we go. Percoco catches it over the middle. It's 1st down and 10, and Synergy just kind of threw one up there that he knew Percoco would come down with.
Yeah, and that's what I've been talking about, Pete. That's the type of throw that you're going to see from Synergy when he's going Percoco's way. He knew the pressure was coming. He knew he had to get rid of it. He saw the 4-7 out there and threw it somewhere in that general area. And sure enough, Lauren comes down with it because she's absolutely incredible.
1st and 10. They're going to send Gill into motion here. Looks like man coverage will be what the play call is here based off the reaction by the defense. And it's going to be a handoff to Say. Say breaks a tackle and he gains 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, again, Nashville playing tough on the run defense here. Not really given a whole lot. to these running backs from DC, which, I mean, that was kind of their bread and butter, was the run game. I mentioned over 1,200 yards on the ground last season between these two backs.
2nd and 7, looking to throw his synergy. Fires, and he was looking for Percoco. However, the pass was just not where it needed to be. Might have been miscommunication there on that one.
Yeah, Bamsler, tight coverage out there on Percoco. I'm not sure what synergy saw, but again, good pressure from the tempo on defense, forcing the confusing throw there by synergy.
So it's 3rd and 7. 5:25 to play in the 3rd quarter. We are all knotted up at 10. Synergy is going to send Percoco into motion. Already 3 receivers left-hand side, make it 4. And here we go. He's looking over the middle of the field. It was looking for Percoco, but once again, just overthrew it a little bit there, and that'll force a punt. And that one, he had Percoco, just didn't hit his target.
Yeah, had Percoco, and I think he might have had Mason Kirby out there as well. Just a bit of an overthrow there by the 10-season vet, and it's going to be 4th down. Nashville going to have an opportunity to take the lead here midway through the 3rd.
Yeah, so Nashville, and a surprising opening night performance here. Let's see what they can do. It's going to be Ron Van Cleef with the punt. He's going to punt away to Jeff Banfield, who's been aggressive returning punts all day. And we'll return this one as well. Banfield up to the 27, and he'll get to the 28, where Nashville will take over. And yeah, Eric, I mean, I thought, looking at the roster for Nashville, they might make this game a little interesting. I didn't think they'd be looking to take the lead halfway through the 3rd quarter, though.
No, I got to agree with you there. I mean, this score is definitely very surprising to me. DC, the clear favorites coming into this ball game, especially at home, and Nashville doing their best to play spoiler.
And there's a handoff, that time to Sanders. Sanders gets 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. And really, if Sanders could get going at any point for this Nashville offense, they'd be doing probably a lot better. That's been their weak spot so far.
Yeah, definitely. It forced the Nashville offense to kind of mix up their playbook a little bit and try and throw the ball a little bit more with a young quarterback.
So it's 2nd and 8, and looking to throw Thumper. He rolls out left, fires deep over the middle, and a flag. They get the pass interference call. And that was definite pass interference. You saw a tackle pretty much made before the throw was even made. I believe he was looking for Guy Clausen.
And Nick Fargo out there in coverage as well. Whenever a linebacker's out there in coverage, it gets a little dicey. It looked like he was looking for the tight end Copeland Jr. on that throw. But the key piece of the equation there for me, Pete, is that Nashville actually had good protection that time for Thumper so that he could make a decision to go downfield. And sure enough, tight end draws the penalty.
Yeah, they kind of have the defense on their heels right now. Thumper under center once again. It'll be a toss to Sanders, and Sanders gets eaten at the line of scrimmage, and that's really the biggest issue, I think, for Sanders. He's a small back. He has good weight at 220, but he's only 5'7". It just seems like when he's met with contact, he can't break it.
Yeah, and that's going to happen sometimes, especially when you're a smaller back at 5'7", 220. Got to have a little bit better vision, honestly. I mean, we've seen that in the Jacksonville days as well.
Toss, this time Balmer, and Balmer goes nowhere. It'll remain 3rd down and 8 at the 50-yard line.
It also doesn't help that necessarily, I mean, the DC Dragons front 7 are some of the best in the league. I mean, Nick Fargo is a 7-time All-Star selection. So not too many people are going to beat him in a one-on-one tackle situation.
Well, here's a passing situation for Thumper. He has protection. He throws left, and he almost got it in there to Clausen, but just a little bit too good coverage there. It falls incomplete, and DC forces the punt.
Yeah, I think Thumper was trying to get a little too cute on that one, trying to throw that one in double coverage, throwing it low on the shoelaces and see what happened. But he probably had better options available to him. Either way, Nashville gets an opportunity to play field position here.
Powers punts it away. It's a good punt. It will stop at the 9, and it will roll into the end zone. I do believe that's a touchback. We'll have to see if they said it went out of bounds past the marker there. And they say it went out of the 1. They say it went out of the 1, so it's a perfect punt. Oh, that was close. I knew it was going to be awfully close. And, well, defense, get up on it.
It is so close that our infographic is telling us it's at the 0-yard line, Pete. Sweat fest here for DC.
Well, Synergy looks like he's going to hand off here, and they're bringing the house. It's a handoff, and Say gets them some breathing room with a good 8-yard carry on 1st down, and that's why they give the ball to Kevin Say there.
Yes, sir. And that is the risk that you run defensively when you send the house and you don't get the guy near the line of scrimmage or even a couple yards past the line of scrimmage. You let him rumble for 7 or 8 yards, and all of a sudden the offense has a lot more breathing room to operate.
Say, averaging 4.3 on the day, having a pretty good day is Say. They've kind of gotten away from him here, though, in the second half. Let's see if that's the first of many for him here. 2nd and 2, Harrison is the tailback, and he'll go to the fullback, Stellar, and he gets enough for the first down, as Stellar, such a good short yardage fullback to give the ball to, makes good on it there.
Yeah, and Stellar had over 500 yards on the ground. Kevin Say had over 700 yards on the ground. So between those two backs, just a nice two-headed monster there in the backfield for the Dragons.
This one will go again. Actually, no, that one goes to the backup fullback that time, but nothing doing there. Getting back to the line of scrimmage is Dan Alexander.
Yeah, and again, these linebackers for Nashville playing very, very well. J. Mart, Tigger Clay, Dylan Bantzler, all playing very, very well. And Jeff Gagne is a 9-season vet out there. He is a force to be reckoned with as well.
2nd and 10 for Synergy, and another handoff here. That goes to Stellar, and Stellar's wrestled down there. Really impressive job defensively that time. That play was made by Tigga Clay, and did a really good job there.
Yeah, Clay has been all over the map here for the tempo on defense, just playing absolutely out of his mind right now.
Well, 3rd and 10, a little bit of a pulse check moment here as we're getting late in the third quarter in a tie game. DC, a 10-2 team last year. Let's see what they got. Throws over the middle, Synergy, and great defensive coverage there. Cannot get it in there. Bradshaw does his job, and Nashville forces another punt.
Yeah, King Bradshaw did a great job being patient on that play. Didn't make the play too early, didn't get to the receiver too early, and timed it perfectly to get the pass deflection and force the 4th down.
So Ron Van Cleefley punting away. Should be good field position for Nashville depending on this punt. The punt will go to about the 45-yard line. It's returned, and it will be in DC territory. Banfield down to the 44-yard line. And to start this drive, Nashville will be about 15 yards away from good field goal range.
And, you know, Pete, it is hard to argue against the Nashville tempo seizing the momentum in this game. It seems every opportunity the DC has had to kind of match what Nashville is giving them, Nashville comes out just a little bit more. Not by much, obviously. We got a 10-10 ball game, but I think that the tempo, they have the momentum right now, and DC better watch out.
The entire league is watching as this upstart franchise is taking it to the DC Dragons right now. Throw, right-hand side to Sanders. Sanders gains a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. And I get they want to try to get him going, but it's getting late in the game. It's getting a winning time. I think you got to get away from Sanders here. He's just showing you all game he's not going to do much.
Yeah, and that's why you got other options out there like Ballmer and King. They're doing a good job in shifting out different backs in these formations.
Thumper looking to throw, great protection, gets it in there, and that one should be a first down with forward progress, and it is. That was that was Jeff Banfield on the catch, and first down and pretty much in field goal range now for Nashville.
And a smart play there by Thumper, recognizing that Fargo was the one that was out there in coverage. Anytime you got a linebacker out on a wide receiver in coverage, that's a mismatch. You got to throw the football and throw it accurately, and that's what Thumper did.
There you see Thumper's stats on the day. Nothing crazy, but a solid day for his first ever time playing in the SFL. Thumper's looking to throw, pump fakes, and he gets taken down. He just took a little bit too long in the pocket there. Good job of getting to him by Kano Fortson.
Yeah, Fortson and Bourne were the two guys that were going to get in there and get to him, but honestly, truly, the whole front four had an opportunity, a Thumper on that one. Big protection breakdown for the tempo, and that's been a problem for them all game long. Very rarely have they given him a clean pocket and time to operate.
That takes him out of field goal range too, most likely, so they're going to have to do a little work here. Thumper's looking to throw again. Good protection this time. Lofts a pass up right side for Banfield and just misread the coverage. And that's unfortunate there, Eric, because that's probably some of the better pass protection he's gotten all game, but he just rushed it.
Yeah, Peanut Say was right there ready to make a play, and sure enough, he could have easily taken that one back to the house. You do not want to pick on these corners and one-on-one coverage. They will make you pay.
Well, they probably need about 8 to get in the field goal range. Let's see if they can find it. 3rd and 14. Thumper is going to throw. Decent protection. Oh my goodness, he gets absolutely hit stick there, and that is a veteran play there by Mike Wagoner.
Mike Wagoner, that man has a family. Will you chill, my guy? Oh, for the love of humanity, what a hit there by Wagoner on Thumper. Someone get some smelling salts for my man number 1 out there, please.
Oh, that is a tough one there, and yeah, no attempt at a field goal now. They were in field goal range, but 2 sacks takes them out of it, and now we're going to see a punt here by Powers. So let's see if he can pin him deep again. Powers gets it away. This will likely be the last play of the third quarter. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 17-yard line, so not nearly as good of a punt as last time. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line for DC when we come back from this word from our sponsors.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back, and let me paint the picture for you. Downtown DC, it's nighttime, and a tied game on opening week between the Nashville Tempo and their first ever game in the SFL and the DC Defenders. They're going to throw deep, and it's picked off over the middle! Oh, the play there! Down the right sideline at the 10 to the 5, and that is where Nashville will take over. The Dragons throw an interception there, and it is Dylan Bamseller that takes it down to the 5-yard line. What a play!
And Pete, what did I tell you, my friend? What did I tell you? These linebackers are playing out of their gourds today for the Nashville Tempo. And sure enough, Dylan Bamsler almost took it back to the crib. Reservations for 6. Instead, set them up shop at the 6-yard line of DC. 1st and goal. Nashville has an opportunity to take the lead.
I tell you, I'd love a play-action call here on 1st and goal. If I were the coach, I think that's what I would call. It's from the 6-yard line. They might just go the safe route. It's probably the smart play here. They will. They toss it right side to Ballmer. Ballmer gets a good 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal now from the 4.
Yeah, and smart play. Coming off of a juiced-up play like that, the interception, it gets you great field position there. No need to go ahead and make a silly decision. Just toss it out to your reliable fullback, see what he can get. Now it's 2nd and goal after about 1.5 yards.
That's who defense stacks the box. It'll be a handoff. Ballmer again. Ballmer just gets met at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there. 3rd and goal. And now if you're Thumper, it's probably going to be a pass, but you just got to make sure you don't throw an interception here.
Yeah, again, no unnecessary risk. Worst case scenario, you got yourself a chip shot field goal opportunity here to take the lead. Do not leave points on the field.
Thumper. It's going to pass. Pressure. Throws. Middle. Caught! Touchdown! The Tempo score. It is Jimmy Foster, the rookie tight end. And the Nashville Tempo take the lead in the 4th quarter. That's not something everyone saw coming.
Man, and it is dead silent here in this stadium. You could hear a pin drop right now. These fans are just absolutely beside themselves here in DC. The upstart Nashville Tempo taking the lead against their DC Dragons. Just a well-played game so far, but can you finish?
And the kick is up, and it is good. It's a full 7-point lead following the extra point by Victor Ironleg. And the last 17 points all scored by Nashville here. And this is treacherous waters for DC, but a team that went 10-2 last year, a team that made it to the semifinals, this is where they got to show us what they're made of. After convention weekend, Mike Daggs, Gerald Smith, and Matt Wilson kick us off Friday night at the Albuquerque Adams homeowner, as that kick goes back to the 25-yard line. At the kick us off Friday night at the Albuquerque Adams home opener against the Denver Nightwings, and our first Monday night spectacular game of the season has the Baltimore Vultures welcoming in Johnny Pickler, Siren Yates, and the Indianapolis Ramblers. Week 2 kicks off Friday, July 19th, right here on the SFL YouTube. But back to my point a second ago, this is where DC's got to show us what they're made of, show us why they were so good last year.
Yeah, and they had games like this last season as well, where they just turned on a switch, another gear in the latter parts of games and just ran away with it. We'll see if today is one of those games for the Dragons.
Synergy's got to come back from a bad interception here. Let's see how he shakes it off. Let's see if they try to run it or have him pass. He'll pass. Synergy throws middle of the field, and it is caught there. And who else but Lauren Percoco? She caught that one in heavy traffic. I'm going to call that one the nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL, 4K23, and a really nice catch over 2 defenders there for Percoco.
Yeah, full extension of the arms, bringing that ball back in. Carmichael on the back end, laying the big hit, and Percoco hits the century mark with that catch.
Yeah, there's a reason a lot of people think of her as the best tight end of the league for plays like that. Hand off there. This time it'll go to Alexander, the backup fullback. He gets 2 yards. It will remain 2nd and 8.
And big hit, big open field tackle by Mart. Again, these linebackers just playing very, very well for the tempo in the middle of that field. That includes when they're trying to throw it to the tight end. Despite Percoco having 100 yards receiving, it does seem like a quiet 100 yards today.
Synergy looking to throw, throws right side, and it was looking for Gill, but it was, or Kirby rather, but it was defended well by Stotch, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and he's one of those corners you got to watch out for. Just good one-on-one coverage out there on Kirby, and turns right at the exact right moment to make that play on the football, brings up a 3rd and long.
Stacked receivers left side. They're going to send one man in motion. Let's see what they draw up here. That's Rod Smith they sent in motion. Synergy, good protection, throws middle, and he gets it in there, but it will not be a first down for Josh Gill. It's 4th and 2, and now a likely punt, and suddenly the Tempo are in a situation where they can take a stranglehold on this game, Eric.
Yeah, and Chris Stack again out there on coverage, looking very, very good, staying step for step on that crosser with Josh Gill. And I think Synergy may have thought that Gill had the step in that situation. Nashville does a good job defensively once again.
And a rare fair catch called by Banfield there, but he didn't really have much of a choice. It'll be Nashville's ball at the 15-yard line as a DC linebacker, Barrett Green, got injured on the kick return there, and that is a tough one for them, but luckily he's mostly a special teams player, so it shouldn't hurt their defense.
No, it should not, but special teams helps win championships as well, so hopefully he gets better and gets back out there sooner than later.
So it's 1st and 10, and if I'm Switch Thumper, I'm thinking burn clock here. That is all that is on my mind. So Thumper comes out under center. I believe that is going to be the fullback in the backfield, Ballmer. And it'll be a toss to Ballmer. Ballmer has space. Ballmer is going to gain 5 or 6 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And that's what they've been missing the entire day, is sealing that edge there. They finally pitched it at a point in time where they just really had a corner and a linebacker to deal with. Good job kicking in that linebacker, leaving only the corner out there to make the play.
2nd and 5. Thumper hands off again. This time he goes up the middle to one of his reserve backs there. That one was Jeremy Johnson, the backup fullback. Gains 3 on the carry. It's 3rd and 2, and now playbook wide open.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job keeping the ball on the ground, keeping the clock rolling. A little quick out of the huddle, but still chewing clock.
Clock's under 7 minutes here in the 4th quarter, and here's a handoff, and Ballmer gets met at the line of scrimmage, and that DC Dragons defense does their job, and they are going to get that offensive Nashville off the field.
And that's kind of the tricky part when you give the ball to your fullback on those off-tackle runs. A lot of these fullbacks, me run ball, me run through people, that there's not a whole lot of ball carrier vision on that play.
A low snap, but Powers does bring it in. He's going to get a good punt off, too, a real good punt, and it's returned from the 30, and it'll be brought back to the 38-yard line where DC will take over with the ball. And it's getting late now, Eric. This drive feels like it needs to be the one. I mean, maybe they get one more shot after this, but it's starting to get late early here for DC. They got to make something happen here.
There's a lot of nail biting going on that DC sideline right now, and this is going to be the time where they got to find that extra gear. They got to find that switch to turn on the juice. They got to do it here and now.
Synergy throws a dying quail over the middle of the field. He got hit on the play. Looks like catching the arm a little bit there was the defense, and that'll be a 2nd down and 10 now.
And it's hard to do when you're 6'5" and throwing the football and you deflect it off a shoulder pad like that. That's kind of wild to see. You don't see that too often from Synergy.
That was a good play, too, by Gilbert Brown, one of the reserve men for that team. And it's going to be a handoff, and Say gets a good carry. That'll be 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. And I got to say, I don't know why they aren't giving it to Kevin Say more. I mean, he's been good all night. They just have gotten away from him.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, he's averaging about 4 yards a carry. It's not necessarily the production that we're used to seeing from Kevin Say. He hasn't had a whole lot of these explosive plays. They're good plays, but not Kevin Say type of play.
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask him, he'd say the next one's the explosive one.
Always.
It's 3rd and 2. They send Gill left side, empty right side of the field. Synergy throws, and it's Percoco over the middle. 1st down and 10. They are on Nashville's side of the field, and they are marching now with 5 to play.
And that is where this DC team can be dangerous, is that in those 3rd and short situations, everyone's eyeing the backfield. They're thinking run, run, run. And Percoco is the type of tight end that will sneak out of the sea of humanity right there at the line of scrimmage and be wide open for a pitch and catch. And that's what we saw right there.
Percoco quietly with 6 receptions for 113 tonight. And she's been reliable, to say the least. Handoff here. That one goes to Chuck Steller. He gains a tough 3 yards, and the clock will continue to run.
And I'm not disappointed by this DC offense mindset here. Go ahead and shoot some clock as much as humanly possible and force your will on this Nashville tempo defense and get into the end zone to tie the game with not a whole lot of opportunity for them to answer.
2nd and 7. The man in motion, that is Kirby. And it'll be a handoff, Say. Nothing really doing there, but gains a yard or 2. It'll be 3rd down and 5 now for the Dragons.
And again, Mart and Clay. It sounded like I said Martin Clay like it was one guy. They should be one guy, honestly. They've just been playing fantastically here in the linebacker core for the tempo, both of them getting in there for the stop and forcing just the short yardage.
Looking to throw over the middle, and it is picked off! Picked off over the middle of the field, back to the 40-yard line, and Nashville has the ball in great field position. It's Xavier Rowe, the 3rd, with the interception, and the Nashville Loyals go crazy.
And man, it was just an overthrow there. I mean, he had a receiver in the area, Synergy did. I'm not sure what that was. It was Rod Smith, just a simple button hook route, and just overthrew it. And Xavier Rowe was like, thank you, sir. I'll take it back the other way.
1st and 10 now with 4:03 to play. And Nashville's thinking, let's just run this thing dry and head home happy. Here we go. It's going to be a handoff, this time to Balmer. Balmer gets a good carry, 4 yards, 2nd and 6. But most importantly, that clock runs.
Yep, the clock runs, and you got to put 2 hands on the football. No unnecessary risks here. You are under 4 minutes. It's the 4-minute offense. Just keep that clock moving and force DC to burn some of their timeouts. Make sure that you seal the victory. Again, finish. Get to that finish line.
2nd and 6. Making his first ever start, Switch Thumper. In a very consequential situation here. How's he handle the pressure? How's he handle that crowd noise? Handoff this time. Going absolutely nowhere. Couldn't get a number on the ball carrier there, but it'll be 3rd and 5.
And what a first start here for Switch Thumper, right? You're coming in on the road against a 10-2 team from a season ago in the DC Dragons, went to the semifinal in the playoff. Your first ever start, you throw your first career touchdown pass, and oh, by the way, you're up by 7 with under 3 to go.
It's 3rd down and 5. A huge play in this ball game right now. DC's got to have it. Got to get the stop. Thumper. Probable passing down here. Let's see. No, it's a toss. Go right side to Balmer. Balmer stiff arms the man. It's not enough. He gets tackled after a gain of 1. It's 4th and 4. DC forces the punt, and they'll have one last try to send this thing to overtime.
And you know what? For me, that's the smart call. Go ahead and keep it on the ground. Do a little pitch play, a little off-tackle play like they ran. See what Balmer can kind of give them. Very sure-handed back, as we've mentioned previously. Don't make any unnecessary risks. Don't throw the football into coverage. Don't give DC a short field. And now they get to play field position with just about 2 minutes to go.
Nashville still in the driver's seat, but DC, a wily veteran team, as another low snap there. It's going to get it off. Let's see, will it be returned? Yes, it will, from about the 12-yard line, and it'll be brought up to the 18, and that's where DC will take over. So DC is going to have to go 82 yards if they want to at least send this thing to overtime as the 2-minute warning commences. Back here at the Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum, as we have a doozy here, Eric. And for me, I think they got to try to pass deep, because we're going to coin the term Claymart over the middle of the field has not been open tonight.
No, it has not. We'll see where they go.
Synergy throws middle. It is caught there for a first down by Kirby. They got to quickly get up there, and they quickly use a first timeout, and that will be a first down nonetheless.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of success in the one-on-one passing game either. Got away with one there because that really was good coverage, but a good catch there by Kirby to give them some much-needed yards out near the 40-yard line.
Like I said, I think they got to go outside because Claymart is closed, as I said. The outside seems to be where they've had their success passing. Synergy, once again, goes outside again. Who else? Percoco quickly down to the 40-yard line. They burn the second time out, and just like that, DC's rolling.
They're looking good, 2 for 2 so far on these chunk pass plays. The problem is that they're both over the middle of the field, forcing them to burn their timeouts. They've only got one remaining here and still got some ways to go to hit pay dirt.
They got 41 more yards to go. They throw right side. It's picked off. It is intercepted. Oh, my goodness. And he smartly runs out of bounds. What a play there. And that will seal the game by Chris Dash. Oh, my goodness. And Nashville comes into DC, and they somehow pull off the upset. They still have about 1:40 to go, but with only one timeout left, it's going to be hard for DC to get the ball back, I think.
It is going to be difficult at this point, and again, an overthrow by Synergy, and a nice job there by coming up and playing the football by Chris Stack, and man, oh man, Nashville has a real opportunity here to steal a win on the road.
Toss play, Sanders, and he has space, and his best run of the night comes just in time. A 7-yard gain, timeout taken by DC, and if Nashville can get 3 more yards, that will seal the game. Even if they can't, they'll probably only give the ball back to DC with about 15 seconds left.
That was just about best case scenario there, that Sanders has his best run of the evening for a good 7-8 yards. Like you said, Pete, first down, game over.
Thumper hands it off. Sanders, first down after a rough night. Sanders comes in and closes it. Call him Mariano Rivera. First down and 10, and in their first ever game in the SFL, Nashville goes into the Dragons' house, a team that made the semifinals last year, and will leave victorious. That's an upset no one saw coming.
No kidding. I mean, hats off to James Walters and his staff. Switch thumper playing absolutely lights out. This Nashville Tempo defense playing absolutely lights out. Their linebacker core played great. Their defensive secondary played great. And this was a good overall team win by the Nashville Tempo to get their first ever in the Simulation Football League.
And I'll tell you what, Eric, all around the SFL, teams are taking notice of this result right here, and I think teams are not going to be looking at that Nashville game on their schedule anymore as a game they're just going to roll up and win. They're looking at this as maybe Nashville's a team we're going to have to worry about.
Well, and we talked about it coming into this one. You know, Nashville has had a lot of success in the minor league with the SFL. It did not look like there was really going to be any fall off from these guys. It was going to be tough sledding, obviously, because it always is for a first-year expansion team. But man, oh man, they played absolutely fantastically, and they played together here today, and that's why you see the result out there on the field. Hats off to Nashville, hats off to Thumper, hats off to James Walters.
And that will be the last snap of the game. The final score, the Nashville Tempo wins 17-10 over the DC Dragons in their maiden game here. And for Nashville, a great start for this franchise. They get off to a win. And really, like you said, it was the story of the defense, but also 17 consecutive points they scored, Eric. They let the DC get up early, and then they answered back with 17 straight points. Thumper, hats off to him. He started the game, his first ever pass in the SFL ball was picked off, and after that, he was lights out. Just an all-around team performance here for Nashville to steal this one.
Yeah, we talked about intestinal fortitude. Was he going to have it? Was Thumper going to have it? I think he answered that question there. Throws 2 touchdowns in his first ever SFL professional game. The team as a whole forced 3 turnovers against a DC Dragons team that is very, very tough to play against. And they not only won the turnover battle, they won the game. And I think they won the hearts of the SFL so far.
I want to say, too, there wasn't a real good moment in the game for a great breakaway play, but I'm going to have to give it to that first interception there by, I believe, Bradshaw. That will be our breakaway play of the game, brought to you by Breaks GPT, sports memorabilia, breakers, and collectors. You never know whose autographed helmet or jersey you might hit. Check them out at breaksgpt.com. And what a surprising outcome here. And moving forward, this is certainly going to be a big storyline in the week to come. And what a great start to the season, Eric. I mean, what better game could we have asked for?
I could not have asked for much more. Nashville going to get an early bye week next week, and DC going to have a tough test heading down to the eye of the storm to take on the Florida Storm.
Certainly another big test for him there. That'll wrap things up here. On behalf of Eric Vincent, thank you as always. It was a fantastic job calling the game with you. On behalf of Cam Irvine back in the studio doing all the hard work, making us look good out here, my name is Pete Zaller, and we will see you later, my friend. Take it easy.